Hi everyone, I hope that you are doing great. Today I'm going to show you water management system. This is my side project, so let's dive in and discover what you have there. So let's connect. This is to record information about consumers and counters, counters or users, invoices, payment, debt, report, parameter or settings, and sign out. Okay, so first of all we can create consumers. You can add consumer, for example, here. Okay, with phone number. Okay, and here we go. We have consumer identification, name, phone number, creation date, and action. For example, you can modify or edit consumer. Okay, nice. So let's create another. John Doe. Okay, nice. So you can also select one or more your consumer and delete them. Okay, so then you can create a counter also. Here we put the price, and from here you can choose the consumer. Automatically will be loaded from here. So for example, I will add this, and there we go. We have a list of counters. Same thing, you can select, delete, or edit the counter. Now we can do the record. For example, we choose John Doe, and the trimest or period of the record, for example, July, September, here was selected automatically. For the first time, you can introduce the first value of your counter or water counter, 0 if it was a new counter, or you will put new old value here. So just make 0 and 20 meter cube. So it said no counter associated to this consumer. Nice. So this is you can check if the consumer has associated counter. So let's do it from here. Nice. Okay. And choose John Doe. Now we can do the record for John Doe. 0, 20. Okay. So, recensement fait avec succès. The record was successfully added. So now you can check on the invoices. So here we had invoice code, consumer, the price or the amount, the period, status, date, and actions. So actions, same thing. You can modify, for example, consumer if there was an error or mistake in typing, trimest, and consumption. Okay, here you can delete also the invoice and check invoice details. For example, here you have all information about the details, the village name of invoice of water or water invoice, invoice code, period, date, status. Here didn't paid yet, non payé with French language. The consumer code, date of record, next date of record, quantity, and all information about the invoice. Here the debt, if there was debt of the previous invoices, so you can find them here. So we can do an example to see all those stuff. So here you can select and delete invoice, select it, and if you want, print the selection. For example, I will add another record for Abdurazak. Okay. Nice. So here we have two invoices and we can of course print them. We will choose the destination or the folder where you would like to save them. Nice. Now if I check in documents, here is July, September 2025 invoices. Extract them. Here we go. The first invoice format. So let's go to the second screen. So here we have filters, partially paid and not paid. You can make search also. John, for example, period. Yeah, so we have filters and the date, printed or not printed. For example, if I choose not printed, we don't have yet not printed invoices. So now we can make payment. So just we click here to copy the factor number or code factor and go to payment, choose the consumer. This is John Doe. So payment, we choose John Doe and pass factor code. Let's, for example, there is an error message here, montant supérieur. The amount is greater than what we are expecting. So this is control. So for example, here we have 400. So okay, yeah, another control. It means this invoice not belong to this consumer. So okay, yeah, payment fee avec succès. Payment was successfully added. Nice. Now you can check the invoices. Statue paid for John Doe. And you can check it also from here. Amount and paid amount, so we don't have any debt. And the statue was changed. Okay, nice. Also, you can pay, for example, if the consumer pay partially the invoice, we can do it. For example, here we have 200, so we will just pay half of amount. Oh, sorry, I think this belongs to Abdurazak Amir, so payment. Okay, nice. Now, if we return to this screen, invoices screen, you will see P and P partially pay. Okay, nice. We can check it from here, statue P and P, and here you can now see the debt of this invoice, the current invoice, or the previous invoices. For example, here we have the half of the amount debt. Nice, nice. For example, you can check the debt of the consumers from here. Aucune dette trouvée. There is no debt for this consumer. Also for this one. For example, here we will create another invoice. Facture exists pour cette période. This is check or control. It said that there was an invoice for this period, so we can change period. October, December. Nice. Now we have new invoice for Abdurazak Amir. So let's pay half of this amount. Okay. Okay. Now, if you check debt, you will see that we have Abdurazak Amir has debt. Okay, nice. So now we can check report. For the report, you have the report type consumer. By default, statistics concern all consumer. Period, by default, 1 year, previous years. Yeah, you can choose the date of the start, end date, and period, or just choose, for example, one consumer to check all the information needed. Okay. You can also, for example, export those information. Here I will choose call consumer. For example, the revenue. We have the revenue, debt, graph, repartition of invoices by status. Here, for example, we have one invoice paid partially and two paid invoices. Consumption, water consumption here by period, and you can export it. For example, I will export it to a document and we will check the report. Okay, nice. Here is the report where you can see all the information about statistics. For example, total revenue, total debt, invoices paid, total invoices paid, because we are speaking about all consumer invoices not paid. This is the subscription and tax if available. Otherwise, you can make 0 in parameter. We'll see them in while for the grand total and the grand total with debts. Okay, nice. So now we can check the parameters. For the general parameters, village name, the price of meter cube, phone number, information about the user, administrator. This is deadline, number of days for the deadline, subscription and taxes. So you can create user. For example, here we have list of users, administrateur en français, in French. So this is admin and user, simple user. Here we are connected with admin, so we can try to connect with user and see the restrictions. For example, here, okay, nice. Here we have restriction or control access. For example, the simple user can just do the record, see invoices, and do the payment. Okay, let's return to our admin interfaces. So I think globally that's what we have in our water consumption management system. So thank you very much and see you soon.